She was the one who asked for the test, not him, her, standing in the middle of their kitchen, arms crossed, voice steady, eyes burning with righteous anger. If you don't trust me, then let's settle this once and for all. I'll take the test. Our daughter will take the test. And when the results come back, you're going to apologize for every accusation you've ever made. Michael Torres stared at his wife, stunned. He had suspected. He had questioned. He had let his insecurities whisper terrible things in the dark. But he never expected her to call his bluff. Fine, he said quietly. Let's do it. Vanessa smiled, the smile of a woman who believed she had already won. But she didn't know what that test would reveal, and neither did he. Let's rewind. Michael and Vanessa met in 2012 at a mutual friend's wedding. She was a bridesmaid. He was a groomsman. Cliché maybe, but sometimes clichés exist because they're true. They danced 3 songs in a row, exchanged numbers before the cake was cut, had their first date 4 days later. Within a year, they were engaged. Within 2, they were married. By 2015, their daughter Lily was born. Michael remembered the day she arrived, the tiny fingers, the soft cry, the overwhelming wave of love that crashed over him the moment he held her. She's perfect, he whispered. Vanessa smiled through her exhaustion. She's ours. Ours. That word meant everything to him. But over the years, that word would become the source of his greatest doubt. The suspicions didn't start immediately. They crept in slowly, like water through a crack in the foundation, invisible at first, destructive over time. It began with small comments from relatives. Lily doesn't really look like you, Michael. She must take after Vanessa's side. Are you sure she's not adopted? A joke, followed by laughter, but the laughter always felt hollow. Michael brushed it off. Genetics were unpredictable. Not every child looked like both parents equally. It didn't mean anything. But the comments kept coming, year after year, birthday after birthday. And Michael started to look more closely. Lily had dark curly hair. Michael's was straight and light brown. Vanessa's was wavy, but not curly. Lily had green eyes. Michael's were brown. Vanessa's were brown. Lily was tall for her age. Michael was average height. Vanessa was petite. None of it proved anything, but all of it planted seeds. And seeds, once planted, don't stop growing. By 2022, Lily was 7 years old. Michael's doubts had become a constant hum in the back of his mind. He tried to silence them. He told himself he was being irrational, paranoid, unfair. But then he found the messages. He wasn't snooping, not intentionally. Vanessa had left her phone on the kitchen counter, and a notification lit up the screen. A name he didn't recognize. A message preview that made his blood run cold. I still think about that night. Do you? Michael's heart stopped. He didn't open the phone. He didn't read more. He set it back down exactly where he found it and walked away. But he couldn't forget. That night, lying in bed next to his wife, he replayed the message over and over. That night. What night? When? With whom? And suddenly, every doubt he had ever buried came roaring back to the surface. He started watching her, not aggressively, not obviously, but carefully. He noticed when she tilted her phone away from him. He noticed when she stepped outside to take calls. He noticed when she came home late from work meetings that weren't on her calendar. He didn't confront her. Not yet. He needed more. He needed certainty. But certainty never came. Just more suspicion, more sleepless nights, more silent dinners where he couldn't look at her without wondering. Finally, after 3 months of torment, he broke. I need to ask you something, he said one evening. Lily was at a sleepover. They were alone. Vanessa looked up from her book. What is it? Have you ever been with someone else during our marriage? The question hung in the air like smoke. Vanessa's face went through 3 expressions in 2 seconds. Shock, hurt, fury. Are you serious right now? I just need to know. No, absolutely not. How could you even ask me that? The messages on your phone, the late nights, the way Lily doesn't... He stopped himself, but it was too late. Vanessa's eyes narrowed. The way Lily doesn't what, Michael? Look like you? Is that what this is about? He didn't answer. He didn't need to. And that's when Vanessa made the decision that would destroy everything. Fine. She stood up, her voice ice cold. You want proof? I'll give you proof. We'll do a DNA test, all 3 of us. And when it comes back showing that Lily is 100% your daughter, you're going to get on your knees and beg for my forgiveness. Michael felt his stomach drop. Vanessa, I didn't mean... No, you've been carrying this around for God knows how long. You've been looking at me like I'm a criminal, looking at our daughter like she's evidence of something. I'm done living under suspicion. She grabbed her keys. I'm ordering the test tonight. We're settling this once and for all. The door slammed behind her. Michael sat alone in the silence, wondering if he had just made the biggest mistake of his life. But the real mistake was one Vanessa had made years ago, and she didn't even know it. The test kits arrived 5 days later. Vanessa handled everything. She swabbed Lily's cheek while the girl giggled, thinking it was a game. She swabbed her own. She handed Michael his kit with a look that dared him to back out. He didn't. The samples were sent. The waiting began. 2 weeks. 14 days of tension so thick it felt like breathing through wool. Vanessa was confident, almost smug. She moved through the house like a woman counting down to vindication. Michael felt sick every single day. Part of him hoped he was wrong, prayed he was wrong. He loved Lily more than anything in the world. The idea that she might not be his was unbearable. But another part of him, the part that had seen the messages, noticed the absences, cataloged every inconsistency, that part braced for the worst. And then the results arrived. Vanessa got to the mailbox first. She walked into the living room holding the envelope, her chin high, her posture radiating triumph. "This is it," she said. "After this, we never speak of this again. Understood?" Michael nodded. His throat was too dry to speak. Vanessa tore open the envelope. She pulled out the paper. Her eyes scanned the results. And then her face changed. The color drained from her cheeks. Her hands began to tremble. Her confident posture crumbled like wet paper. "What?" Michael whispered. "What does it say?" Vanessa didn't answer. He stood up and took the paper from her shaking hands. His eyes found the number. Probability of paternity, 0.0%. Michael read it again. 0. His daughter, the little girl he had raised for 7 years, loved for 7 years, sacrificed for 7 years, was not his. And Vanessa, the woman who had demanded this test to prove her innocence, had just proven her guilt. There must be a mistake. Her voice was barely a whisper. "A mistake?" Michael laughed. A terrible, hollow sound. "You demanded this test. You were so sure, so confident. And now there's a mistake? I don't understand. I don't..." She stopped. Her eyes went distant, calculating, remembering, and Michael saw the exact moment the truth hit her. Oh, God! She sank onto the couch, her face buried in her hands. Oh, my God! And that's when the real story came out. It happened in 2014, 1 year before Lily was born. 1 year into their marriage. Michael had been traveling for work. 3 weeks in another state, setting up a new branch office. Long hours, lonely nights, infrequent calls home. Vanessa felt abandoned, isolated. She told herself he didn't care about her anymore. She told herself she deserved attention. She ran into an old boyfriend at a bar. Nathan, someone she had dated briefly in college. Someone who had always made her feel wanted. They talked, they drank, they went back to his apartment. It was one night, Vanessa sobbed. One stupid, drunken night. I regretted it immediately. I never saw him again. I never told anyone. Michael stood frozen. "And when you got pregnant?" She looked up, tears streaming down her face. "I convinced myself it was yours. The timing was close. I told myself it had to be yours. I believed it. I genuinely believed it. But you didn't know for sure." "No. And you never thought to check." "I was terrified. I thought if I never confirmed it, it wouldn't be real." Michael felt something inside him shatter. She had lived with the possibility for 7 years, and she had let him believe a lie the entire time. The next few hours were a blur. Accusations, tears, denials that crumbled into confessions, apologies that meant nothing. Michael couldn't look at her. Every word she said felt like another knife. "I never meant for this to happen." "You demanded the test," he said quietly. "You were so sure. You wanted to humiliate me, to make me feel guilty for doubting you. And the whole time, you knew there was a chance." "I didn't know." "You suspected, that's enough." He grabbed his jacket. "Where are you going?" "I don't know, but I can't be here right now." He paused at the door. "Does he know? Nathan?" Vanessa shook her head. "Are you going to tell him?" She didn't answer. Michael walked out into the cold night air. leaving behind everything he thought he knew. 3 weeks later, Michael moved out. He didn't file for divorce immediately. He needed time to think, time to grieve, time to figure out what this meant for his relationship with Lily. Because that was the cruelest part. He still loved her, despite everything, despite the lies, despite the betrayal. Lily was still the little girl who called him daddy, who ran into his arms when he came home, who believed with complete certainty that he was her father. How could he walk away from that? How could he stay? The DNA test had answered one question, but it had created 1,000 more. Vanessa reached out to Nathan. She didn't want to, but Michael insisted. If there was a biological father, he deserved to know, and Lily deserved to know the truth eventually. Nathan was shocked, then defensive, then angry. You're telling me this now, 7 years later? I didn't know for sure until the test. That's not an excuse, Vanessa. He was right. It wasn't. Nathan agreed to meet Lily, not as her father, not yet, but as someone who wanted to know her. The introduction was awkward, painful. Lily didn't understand why this stranger was suddenly part of her life. Who is he, Mommy? Vanessa looked at Michael. Michael looked at the floor. He's a friend, someone who cares about you. But children aren't stupid. And eventually, Lily would demand the truth. The divorce was finalized in 2024. It was quiet, uncontested. Both of them too exhausted to fight over anything except what mattered most, Lily. Michael asked for visitation rights, not because the law required it. Biologically, he had no claim, but because Vanessa agreed. She loves you, Vanessa said during one of their last conversations. Whatever else happened, that's real. I won't take that away from her. It was the first decent thing she had done in years. Michael saw Lily every other weekend. He took her to movies, helped with homework, tried to maintain some sense of normalcy in a world that had completely fallen apart. She still called him Dad. He never corrected her, because some bonds don't require blood. They require presence, choice, love. Nathan became a regular part of Lily's life over the next 2 years. It was strange, uncomfortable, sometimes painful. But Michael refused to let jealousy consume him. Lily deserved to know where she came from. She deserved to have all the pieces of her identity, even if those pieces didn't include him. What surprised him most was Nathan himself. He wasn't a villain. He wasn't a monster. He was just a man who had made a mistake. Same as Vanessa. Same as Michael. In his own way, for letting suspicion poison his marriage without ever addressing it directly. They weren't friends. They probably never would be. But they found a way to coexist, for Lily's sake. Because being a father, being a real father, means putting your child's needs above your own pain. 5 years after the test, Lily turned 12. She understood everything now. The affair, the DNA results, the complicated web of adults who had failed each other in various ways. She handled it better than anyone expected. I have 2 dads, she told her friends matter-of-factly. One who made me and one who raised me. I'm lucky. Lucky. Michael heard her say that once, and he had to leave the room so she wouldn't see him cry. He had spent years feeling like a victim, like someone who had been robbed. But maybe Lily was right. Maybe having 2 people who loved her, imperfect people, broken people, but people who showed up, was a kind of luck after all. And maybe the test that destroyed so much had also revealed something worth keeping. Vanessa never fully recovered. She dated occasionally. Nothing serious. The guilt of what she had done followed her like a shadow. She apologized to Michael once more, years later. I know it doesn't change anything, but I need you to know that I'm sorry. Not just for the affair, for the arrogance, for demanding that test like I was innocent when I knew, some part of me always knew, that I wasn't. Michael listened. I forgive you, he said finally. Not for your sake, for mine. And for Lily's. She nodded, tears in her eyes. Thank you. They never spoke about it again. Some wounds heal, some just scar over. But either way, you learn to live with them. Michael remarried in 2029. Her name was Elaine, a widow with a son of her own. They built a blended family, complicated, imperfect, but full of love. Lily was the flower girl at the wedding. She was 15 by then, tall, beautiful. Her mother's curly hair and green eyes that came from neither parent she had known. She hugged Michael before the ceremony. "I'm happy for you, Dad." Dad. After everything, she still called him Dad. And in that moment, Michael realized something that had taken him years to understand. The DNA test didn't prove he wasn't her father. It just proved that fatherhood isn't about biology. It's about who stays, who shows up, who loves without condition. And by that measure, he had been her father all along.